Hello. I'm a little under the weather, bit of croaky voice, so I might be coughing a little bit, but you know, practice, rain, hail or shine. I'm gonna juxtapose a couple of kind of interesting things here. I'm gonna go through some arpeggios by Carcassi, and then look at some Latin American music that I've been playing recently. I had a show on the weekend and played some music, played some Latin American music, and discovered some beautiful pieces by the composers listed. I can't even say some of their names. Garoto, Pixinguinha, Reis, and Antonio Lauro. Lauro, I think, is quite well known in classical guitar music, but the other composers not so much. So I just wanted to show you some of those pieces. So I'm going to start the timer. Now it's a little bit late here tonight, so I'm going to try and do 30 minutes here. The timer's on. Metronome's ready. Nails. Remember, I will do a little session on fingernails soon. Got a couple of requests from people asking about fingernails, so I actually wrote a dissertation on of all things in the world on fingernails, and I just wanted to share some of that info with you soon. All right. So remember, be fussy. Remember the rub test. Rub the nails on the first string to identify rough places and smooth them out. If you want like one principle when it comes to nail care and keeping your nails in a good condition for playing, I think that's it. Just if they're smooth on the first string, you should be pretty good. If you don't feel any, if you rub your nails on the first string, you don't feel any bumps or you don't feel any rough spots, they should be pretty good. Okay. Alright, we're going to look at arpeggios. Carcassi. So Carcassi, what I like about Carcassi's arpeggios is the way he's grouped them. So every arpeggio collection we've looked at so far has been very different. I'll just go through them very quickly. Carulli groups them by tempo. So arpeggio patterns that fit at certain tempo or tempi. Ones for slower ones, moderate, faster ones. Kirkman, Louisa Kirkman, had a pretty monstrous chord progression here and adds 24 different arpeggio patterns to that chord progression. Mertz, who we only looked at a little bit of, Mertz has these like repeating arpeggios. That kind of thing. Repeating notes. Pratton, Sydney Pratton, or should I say Katarina Pratton, just has I think 12 very contrasting arpeggios. Really nice little collection if you want like a smaller collection, a tenth of Giuliani's 120. Okay, so that's what we've done so far. So we're going to look at Carcassi's today. uses the same chords as Giuliani, the famous C to G7. Okay, so he groups them. So we have the first group for 3 fingers. So we're just using thumb, index, and middle. Now, because it's a warm up, I want to get warmed up. I want to limber up and, you know, get the fingers kind of moving. So, okay, so we're at 96. I've got Sound Brenner. That's the metronome, free metronome app. I highly recommend for Apple or Android. This guitar tuned. Something I like about this arpeggio is just how prominent that top string comes out. So it really shows if your angle or attack is just slightly off, you know, you're going to get that kind of edgy, tinny sound. So even at a slow tempo, quite happy with that. It's a bit scrapey. That's better. This is also good for preparing the thumb. Jumping across. Notice how my sound has declined, deteriorated when I got faster just then. So, nice, yeah? Nice tone here. But if I speed it up to the next level, it's a little bit of like a refraction or something. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think what's happening is when you play faster, the string is in such high vibration mode that when, like, imagine the string's doing that. When your finger touches it, it kind of creates a noise. I think that's what's happening. And so when you play fast arpeggios like this, it can be really hard to get a very clean sound because of that kind of friction or that vibration that's created. I think that's what's happening. So what's the solution? I said, told you the problem. What's the solution? I think the solution is actually minimizing your preparation. So, you know, we can probably at a slower tempo we can prepare onto the next string. We can plant onto the next string. So I think that's. Yeah, I think that's what it is. When we're playing faster, then we minimize that preparation time. We still want to prepare, but like right at the last minute. Otherwise, we'll get that kind of noise, which I'm getting. Hear that? So if I increase the preparation, there's a little bit of a clicking sound, or like a nail click sound. But if I decrease the preparation time, a little bit better. Number 2. might seem like a little thing. I'm closing my eyes, and I like to do that because what it obviously does is it shuts off that input, the visual input, and it can help to increase what you hear. It can increase your sensitivity to what you're hearing from. So sometimes it's nice to do that. You know, a little simple arpeggio. Just close your eyes and really listen. Okay, number 3. Notice how we've changed from triplet to 16th. Here's one challenge for you. Can you play soft and maintain your clarity? Boy, at this rate, I won't get through many arpeggios. Number 4. How soft can you go? Excuse me. It's nice how there's almost like 3 lines in that. You've got the bass line, and then the middle, and then you got the top. Okay, so next 4 fingers. Now in Australia, when we say 4 and 4, it sounds exactly the same. So for 4 fingers. Getting that kind of slap, that nail click again, I don't like. Number 6. This one's tricky because you can easily get thrown off and make that feel like the beat, the main beat, but it's actually thumb. I was working with a student earlier on this that Villalobos probably number 1, no, number 4, this passage. And he was having that kind of struggle, like when you play it faster, sometimes you can lose that sense of the beat falling on the thumb, and you get something like it's where it's like, it feels like the top note is kind of like a landing point, but want it in the thumb. Same with tremolo, you know. thumb. It's just kind of landing. Anyway, we should probably move on to some Latin American pieces. So I've got a whole bunch of PDFs to share here. So I'm gonna have to do this. Wow, where will we start? I've got Dilarmando Reis lined up in the queue here. So Dilarmando Reis, I'm not going to talk about the background. I don't have time. I just want to show you their music. Just beautiful music. Dilarmando Reis. Did I get that right? No. There's the A section. It's beautiful writing. So what I'm noticing now, Dilarmando Reis, from what I know, was a self-taught composer who couldn't notate music. So apparently his pieces, they're transcribed from recordings. But what's incredible is that his writing is like that of a fully trained composer. So he's using all these things. So if we count up to this would be 8 measures, I'm guessing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're getting what's called a parallel period. So this, you can see that the start of that phrase is basically a parallel period, is where you have a question and an answer to create a complete idea or a complete sentence, you could say. And a parallel period is where the question and the answer will start with the same material. It's a very, very common phrase structure in from going right back to probably the beginnings of music, but right back to Renaissance, Baroque, classical, romantic, up until today. We still see this phrase structure, parallel period. Another thing that he's using that's really beautiful is this idea of dissonance, like a tendency. I call it a tendency tone. So here we have an A chord. Here we have an F sharp minor chord. Here we have a B minor chord. So just in these first three, he's also syncopating it too. So the melody's on the offbeat. There's one more, there's an E chord. So that C sharp is the tendency tone that resolves to the B. So a tendency tone is a note that doesn't belong to a chord that is placed on a prominent beat. So we have A to B is a second, and it resolves down to a first, to the A there. F sharp, excuse me, to G, same thing, 2 going down to a 1. B to E. So we always count the interval from the bass. So B, C, D, E is a 4th, goes down to a 3rd, and then E to C, E, F, G, A, B, C is a 6th, goes down to a 5th. So these are very common structures of patterns of tension and resolution, or dissonance and consonance. It's just beautiful. Then another thing that's really cool he does is modulation. So we're in the key of A major, but we get what is called a tonicization, or a passing, sometimes I like to call it a passing modulation, to F sharp minor here, which is the relative minor. F sharp minor. We achieve that by the dominant of F sharp minor, which is C sharp major, or C sharp 7. I love how he leaves that hanging. Actually, we get another tonicization here, so we're going towards E7, and we use the dominant of E, so it's like the 5 of the 5 of E is B7, so we use B7 to go to E7, and then that goes back to A, and he uses this beautiful augmented chord. He raises the 5th of the E chord, the B. He raises that up, so we get this E7, pretty standard, but then the augmented, and it creates this beautiful chromatic melody. Yeah. Anyway, there's one piece by Reis. Probably should talk about another composer next. Are we seeing this? All? Yes, okay. Who will we talk about next? Garoto. About Garoto. Is this the one? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which piece was I playing? Oh, so many beautiful ones. I mean, even just this first one. Let's talk about this first section here a little bit. Oh no, it wasn't this one. I've played through so many pieces, it's like a big blur right now in my mind. This one? Oh, we can talk about this one. Any of them are really nice. Oops. Something like that. Anyway, beautiful writing. Again, we get this kind of parallel period idea. These phrases that keep coming back. So we go draw a line. There's about 4 measures. 1, 2, 3 and a half comes in. This is a pretty long upbeat. It's like 1 and a bit beats of an upbeat. So pretty long upbeat there. Matches that one. If we keep counting again, then we get that upbeat there. So that sort of keeps coming back. And then obviously there at the end of the section to go back to the start. So here we're in A minor. Right away we get that nice chromaticism. Actually, Reis, the composer we looked at before, also used a lot of chromaticism too, to really beautiful effect. And then like Reis, we get these tendency tones. So this is in A minor. So here we have an A minor chord with the D being emphasized. The D is above A, B, C, D is a 4th, and that resolves to the 3rd. And then does it get A? The A becomes A7 straight away, very quick. This is almost like Bach. Like the speed of changing keys is so quick. A7. B to A. So B is a second over A, so it's 2-1. And then another chromatic. Where is A7 going? A7 is the dominant of D minor. He hangs that G over the D, creating a fourth again. Fourth, which resolves to the third. This is D minor 7 because of the C natural. D, F, A, C. Kind of turns around the chord a little bit into the relative major. Beautiful. C major via the dominant of C major G. But the G, we get the E going to the E flat. It kind of creates, I would probably spell it as D sharp because it creates a G augmented. Very similar to Dilamanda Reis, right? I think they were both Brazilian, so Garoto. And over the C chord, we get the A, which is a sixth. C, D, E, F, G, A. That's a sixth going down to a fifth there. So beautiful writing. A pretty unexpected chord here. If I'm playing it right. Chromaticism. Beautiful chromaticism there. So this is kind of like an F sharp minor 7, which then goes to a sort of a B7, which is another tonicization, a passing modulation like this one. It's the 5 of 5, which is E. E7, which likes to go to A. But we get this chromaticism. Oops. So if you look in that kind of middle voice there, that's melody, G sharp. We can even go back to here, A. A, G sharp, G natural, F natural, sorry, F sharp, F natural, E. Beautiful writing. Oh, could spend many hours just going through these things. Anyway, let's go on to another composer. So that was Garoto. Strange, I had some other. Here we go. We'll do Pixinguinha. I don't know how to say that. Pixinguinha. Beautiful music. Down the octave. Modulation to F. Look how busy the bass line is here. there's so much to talk about just in the first page. We get this beautiful melody, which is quite minimalistic. Well, at the start, it's kind of minimalistic, and then it kind of unravels, you know. So. What do you notice here? Parallel period. Modulation. Oops. So we're starting in D minor. We're going from the tonic to the dominant, D minor to A7, A7 to D minor, then D minor. Where's the timer? Timer's gone off. A7, back to D minor. Then we get a modulation. When that B natural comes in, leading us to A minor. A minor. Excuse me. A lot of chromaticism. Here, so we get the chromaticism G sharp, A sharp, B, and then here we get some chromaticism G sharp, G natural, there, a little bit there. Just beautiful how he uses the theme again, and it's like a little motive, you know. And then even when it goes into the relative major, beautiful contrast, change of key, change of texture, but he's keeping that kind of thread throughout, and also some beautiful modulations. This is a long piece. Yeah. Anyway, all of these pieces really, really beautiful. Let's finish our little exploration. We'll look at some Lauro. Antonio Lauro. Oh, I've always known Lauro, but I haven't played a lot of his music. And I really like these couple of pieces. El Marabino. A section, B section. Beautiful. Basically that's it, and then it goes back to the A section. Really like short pieces, but absolutely gorgeous. You know, very these are all Venezuelan waltzes. A lot of his pieces are Venezuelan waltzes, and always have a beautiful energy to them. And they always combine, a lot of them combine the melody and the accompaniment into like one beautiful flowing texture, like. Beautiful, suits the guitar, so it's almost like a harp, you know, just very flowing, but harmonically also really interesting harmonies. So here, once again, parallel period. It's like in every piece that we've looked at, there's been a parallel period. Question, answer. They start the same with that little motive there. The second the answer has a couple of cool harmonic changes goes to F sharp minor. Here, the relative minor of A major. That's via the dominant of F sharp minor, which is C sharp 7, or just C sharp major. And then this nice diminished chord with a tendency tone. Again, the use of tendency tones quite prevalent. Not so much in this piece, more in other pieces. And then the B section it goes into D major, the subdominant, which is interesting. Just gorgeous, like these rhythms just like pop out everywhere. Beautiful rhythmic variety, you know, like flowing smooth eighth notes, and then triplets, and then these kind of staccato, you know, syncopated staccato kind of gestures there. So it's beautiful writing. And then another piece that I really enjoyed, well, gee, this one too, but perhaps even more so was this one. Really like this one. Bit of a more like melancholy kind of piece. And then he goes into these beautiful sequences. Oops. With all the tendency tones, right? Tension, resolution, tension, resolution. Oops. And he does it again, sequence. Really beautiful, very gutsy of him. That F on the fourth string. Try that again. Beautiful. Yeah. Chromaticism. There, yeah, just gorgeous writing in that piece. Oh, why not one more piece to finish. Angostura. This one's a beautiful example of that flowing kind of texture integrated with the melody. Parallel periods, you'll notice, right, that this arpeggiated motive comes back. Totally changes character. Yeah, it's beautiful writing. So yeah, look at that. Arpeggiated texture, mostly tonic and dominant. A lot of tendency tones there, starting. Tendency tones often have a leaning effect. That's a beautiful one. The A minor chord, but instead of the F sharp from the key signature, making it natural, it actually has the effect of an F major chord in the key of E minor. And if you're a member of CCG, hopefully you know what that is. That's a flat 2-6, which is a Neapolitan 6. Neapolitan 6. And then just this beautiful, gutsy writing.